Am I the idiot for abandoning my brother after promising to my mom that I wouldn't? This is a tough post to write, and it's even tougher to make it succinct. I, male 33, could write endlessly about this. Apologies for the long post. From an early age it was clear that my younger brother was going to struggle. He had a learning disability, and it is through Herculean efforts by my mother and that he managed to get through school, and with the help of a full-time tutor who sat with him throughout elementary school. He managed to get a job in construction and did all right for himself in terms of income. Skipping forward a few years, he is now 31, and he has been heavy alcoholic and eventually fell into hard drugs such as crack. Despite a monthly income of $4,000 and expenses of only $800, he found himself constantly asking our parents for rent money, and they supported him and his vices, because they felt like if they abandoned him he would unravel even worse. He's a hateful, racist, misogynistic person who is constantly angry and ranting. As a result, he's extremely difficult to be around because he uses negativity and bad takes. And consequently, he's lonely. He has lost all of his friends, the girl he likes doesn't like him back, and his heart has been broken for 3+ years now. So he heavily relied on my parents for emotional support. He would spend weeks at their place because he couldn't be alone, crying and yelling in pain and self-pity. He often scared them, and often damaged their house. Mom spent countless hours of her life trying to research and find ways to help him at the expense of her own well-being. We've tried to gently push him toward getting professional help, and we succeeded in getting some for him on a few occasions. He did a detox program, AA, and quickly relapsed, and now he refuses help, or when he starts getting help he quickly gives up. He has been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. Years ago, before the situation was nearly as bad as it is now, my mother made me promise to take care of him when they'll be gone. Unfortunately, that time has come and I'm at the point where I have to make good on my promise. My brother called me on many occasions while in crisis, and I made myself available to him over the phone. On 4 to 5 occasions over the course of the past few months, I took time off work and I drove 2.5 hours to go be with him and to suffer through his caustic presence. He is much stronger than I am, and at times I feared for my safety, although he has never gotten physical, except for breaking things. I also took him home last weekend after making him promise he wouldn't drink or do drugs. We made him a proper homemade meal and tried to steer the conversation away from his usual nonsense, and things went okay. Sadly, he did at my home what he did at my parents'. While we were sleeping, he walked to the convenience store, bought a case of beer, drank the whole thing, had a crisis, yelled and screamed, threw stuff around and damaged some of the drywall and some of our stuff. He had a wound somehow and was bleeding on the carpet. I went to try to help and he was belligerent and loud to the point where I thought I would have to call the police. He ended up calming down, but my wife is now terrified of him. I feel like being 2h30 away from him, and given what has happened, I'm not equipped to help him, and I'm not equipped to feel safe from him. Also, his constant calls where I have to suffer through his abuse and his nonsense are weighing down on me. So I've set some pretty rough boundaries. I no longer want to see him in person until he gets himself sorted out. He calls most days, often 2 to 3 times, but if I'm busy or if I can't take it, I tell him I'll call him back when I can. We usually end up talking for an hour every week on the weekend. He accuses me of abandoning him. I feel like I'm breaking the promise I made to Mom. He's alone now and I worry about what will happen. Am I the idiot for not helping him more now? Here are the comments. Until your brother wants to change and is ready to take responsibility for his behavior, nothing you do will likely do anything more than enable his behavior. Further, your wife and any children you might have now or in the future made no promises to your parents. They should not be made unsafe in their home because of your promises. Whatever support you wish to provide from here on out, don't offer the same support your parents did. It doesn't work, you know it and he knows it. Don't bring him to your home. If he needs a babysitter, you go to him. Talk with your wife and set realistic boundaries to keep your support limited to what you both can live with. I would also highly encourage you to connect with your local Alcoholics Anonymous and/or Narcotics Anonymous. Both organizations have support groups and resources for family members of addicts. both to help you be a more effective support person to your addicted loved one and to help you be healthy and heal from the trauma that addicted persons cause their loved ones. Your brother doesn't have to be in any of their programs for you to participate, and they'll give you far more and better tools than the average internet stranger. Not the idiot. Comment 2. Not the idiot. First off, dude, sorry for your loss. Your parents seem like excellent people that had great hearts. As for your brother, he needs to get professional help. He won't be good for anyone, including himself, until he gets help for all of his issues. Also, abandoning your brother would be you never answering his calls and just turning your back on him, which you haven't done. Also, don't think that making him man up and deal with his issues means you're abandoning him. You have a life and a family, and you cannot abandon them for someone who doesn't want to be helped. Best of luck to you as you navigate this difficult time, and I hope for the best for you. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for moving my girlfriend back in against my kids' and therapist's wishes? I am a widower with 2 kids. My daughter is 18 and my son is 19. Both are in community college and living at home. I have been widowed for 2 years and my girlfriend has been living with us since June of last year. My girlfriend, female 27, is a beautiful, passionate, and intelligent person. She is also creative and passionate in the way my late wife was never. Exceptionally charming in her good days. However, she is also troubled, and that has rendered her unable to keep a steady job. She has no trouble landing jobs, but she'd only stay an average of 2 weeks. She is highly reactive to the thought of abandonment, and no matter how much love I give her, it's like she takes my actions and words and twists them into something sinister, and then reacts to it. Which means yelling, calling friends and telling them lies about me, talking about me as if I'm not present to my kids. I've lost friends over her behavior because she'd have days where she'd show up and refuse to talk to anybody because she felt rejected by something. Even left bad reviews on a mutual friend's business because she accused us of seeing each other. We were not even in the same state during that supposed time period. She has had trauma that has made her paranoid. That has devolved into her feeling like she's being followed to and from work, so she quits. I let her contract 2 security companies for our house, but she still feels followed and just sits monitoring the cameras. She also obsessively searches every bag in the house for trackers and dumps out groceries because she feared tampering. This paranoia has resulted in her ending up in court because she's confronted innocent people accusing them of following her. I made the decision to put her in therapy and she just got out of a voluntary inpatient program. The family therapist approved of my decision to rent a condo for her while she continues therapy. The condo has 24/7 security and I visit her often. However, I miss her and want her back in my house. This isn't some fling, I want a future with her. And I saw that my daughter had texted my GF saying, "I know you are a good person, keep up the good work." So I thought despite them having conflict with my girlfriend, my kids would be willing to welcome her back. So yesterday, while my kids were celebrating the 4th, I helped move my girlfriend's stuff back in. However, when my kids got home, they both sprinted to my daughter's room and whispered for a half hour. Then they came down when my girlfriend went to get takeout and said they cannot believe I'd let her back, especially before the therapist says she is stable. I defended myself saying I thought they said she was an intelligent, good person. They said that she means well, but so many things she's done are wrong and hard to forgive. I told them we needed to be there for her and not give up, and they said they will not forget this, and there's worse things than loneliness. Am I the idiot? She's never physically threatened my kids. Now, here are the comments. The fact that you ended your post about your clinically unstable GF with, "She's never physically threatened my kids," should be a giant red flag that this isn't normal or acceptable. I would not blame your kids one bit if they go LC/NC with you over this. You are choosing a frick buddy over the safety and well-being of your children. You're the idiot, majorly. Comment 2. You're the idiot, while thought you can think someone's an intelligent good person and also not want to live with them. But hey, I mean, who wouldn't want someone who's volatile, paranoid, and in need of serious mental help, who's barely older than them to be living with their parent? Sounds like a healthy environment for everyone, right? Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for saying no to marriage because of the date? I, female 25, said no to my boyfriend, male 27, proposal. We'll call him Richard. For context, he proposed to me on the 1-year anniversary of my mom's passing. Him and I have been dating since high school. He knows how important my mom was to me. I went to her for everything. Anyways, now on to the actual story. Richard had been hinting at a proposal for about 3 months now. I told him how I wanted to be proposed to and who I wanted there. I wanted my family and friends to be there. Well, his sister took me to get my nails done and to get my hair done, as well as what I thought was a way to help cheer me up a little, since my mom's passing was still a pretty fresh wound. But at around 5:30 we went to the botanical gardens in our city, and when we got there I noticed that all of Richard's family was there. That's when Richard came out and got down on one knee. I didn't know what to say or do. I was heartbroken because none of my friends nor my family were there. I started crying and told him I didn't want to marry him. I ran out, and since then his family has been blowing up my phone, calling me dramatic, and basically telling me that I need to move on from my mom's passing, and the fact that none of my family was there, since they are my family now. Edit to add, I am not as upset that he excluded my friends and family, it's more so that he chose to propose to me on the anniversary of my mom's death. If it was a different date, I would have said yes. He was there for me when my mom passed and through other tough times that I've had, and I've been there for him through everything he's gone through as well. I get that he can choose where and how to propose, and it didn't overly bother me that my friends and family weren't there. It was just a rough day overall, so my emotions were all over the place. Update. Me and him talked about everything, and I explained to him that it wasn't the fact that my friends and family weren't there, and that it was in fact about the date. He was understanding, and we are gonna move past this. In the meantime, I told him what his family was doing. He didn't know that they were texting me, and he decided to go low contact with them. I am choosing to work on our relationship because I do genuinely love him and he loves me as well. We are also both going to therapy on our own and with each other. Thank you, love. Now, here are the comments. Wow. Very unkind of them. This is not the family you need to spend the rest of your life with. I am so sorry for your loss. My husband's brother passed away 2.5 years ago. I still randomly cry. He was a very good man, best brother, best uncle to our kids, great husband and father. Grief has no timeline. Not the idiot comment too. Not the idiot, both him and his family dismissed your wishes. Hugs, sorry for the loss of your mom. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for refusing to put sunscreen on my stepsister's back because it's covered in pimples? My family is on vacation near the coast right now. Yesterday I went to the beach with my dad, brother, and stepsister. My stepmom didn't go because they had a spa appointment. When we got there, the first thing we did is put on sunscreen. My stepsister is really big, so she couldn't reach her back to put on sunscreen. She wasn't comfortable with my dad or brother putting sunscreen on her, so she asked me to. I said I wasn't comfortable with that. My reason was because her back is covered in pimples and blackheads, and I didn't want to touch that. I didn't say that at first though because I didn't want to be mean, but she kept pushing and wouldn't leave me alone, so I told her I didn't want to touch her pimples. She got really upset and ended going further down the beach from us. My dad warned her to keep her t-shirt on, but she didn't, and she ended up getting a bad sunburn. When we got back to the hotel, she went crying to her mom, blaming me. So now my stepmom is also mad at me for not putting on sunscreen and for making her daughter feel bad about her body. She says I ruined the trip for her because now she's feeling bad about herself and in too much pain to enjoy it. She thinks it's perfectly acceptable that her daughter didn't feel comfortable with my dad or brother putting sunscreen on her since they're guys, but apparently me being uncomfortable touching her daughter's pimply back doesn't matter. I don't see why her comfort is more important than mine. Also, I wouldn't have said anything about her back if she had just accepted my no and left me alone. Edit. Told my stepmom and dad they should buy some spray sunscreen like people suggested. Second edit. So people have explained to me that size doesn't have anything to do with whether or not a person can reach their back to put on sunscreen, and that it's actually about how flexible your joints are. I honestly didn't know that before and wrongly thought her size was the reason why she couldn't put sunscreen on by herself. Third edit. I never thought acne was contagious. That's not the problem, and I don't know why people keep commenting that. Fourth edit. People in these comments are going back and forth on whether her size makes a difference in being able to put sunblock on. At this point, I'm going with it's a combination of that and joint flexibility. But seriously, I don't care about her weight. I just thought it was relevant information. You guys getting upset about that are making assumptions. Now, here are the comments. If anyone can contact Larry David, please make him aware of this sub. He could do so much with the material I read on here. The Iranian yogurt isn't the issue here. Comment 2. The responses in this post are why I'd never come to Reddit for advice. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.